Very nice. Thank you for having me. My name is Martin, Commercial Director of Loyco. And the next 10 minutes we will talk about how loyalty shapes guest behavior in hospitality. We have built this up as a case study, and the hotel group we are showcasing is Smart Hotels. And we will look into how they have strengthened retention and direct bookings through simple, structured loyalty steps. Inside of loyalty, many people are thinking about transactional and emotional loyalty. Of course, emotional loyalty is a higher level of loyalty with a higher spend, higher visit frequency for the guest, and ideally, all guests are emotional loyal towards your brand. But that's simply not possible. It's certainly very difficult. So how to work with loyalty in different levels is what we're going to tackle in this session. If we look at pre-loyalty and emotional loyalty as just a slide, where the higher you come, the more loyal the guests are and the more valuable the guests become, it paints a picture on how to work on the guest profiles, but it's quite hard to tackle, and that's why we introduce a simple loyalty stair to see how you can work with guests to make the guests climb the loyalty ladder, and the higher they climb, the higher value the guest will have. The ladder consists of pre-loyalty, transactional loyalty, habitual loyalty, and emotional loyalty at the top. Pre-loyalty is basically no loyalty. Then you have guests who are very price sensitive. They will shop around and they will take what's convenient for them in the moment. On transactional loyalty, that's where the guests become they're more aware of their opportunities, and they are booking where they feel that they are receiving the best deal for themselves. And that's very common in the retail industry for sure, where you have bonus programs, you have a way to structure rewards to your guests to make them choose you as a brand. And then we have habitual loyalty, which is often forgotten because it's a part of the loyalty ladder, but it's just when bookings and when purchasers are becoming a habit for the guest, then it's typically within that category. And the interesting part from transactional to habitual also is that when you start rewarding guests, and then you're basically changing behavior, and then they will eventually climb the loyalty ladder and they will become more habitual loyal guests. And then you have the emotional loyalty at the top. Obviously that's the holy grail, and they are the best clients, the best brand ambassadors, and ideally all guests would be there, but that's not how it is. If we look at the data from hospitality, this is approximately how guests are distributed between the different steps. As you see, it's an overweight on the middle sections with transactional loyalty and habitual loyalty. What's interesting there is that these steps are not channel specific either. So they can be transactional loyal, but through booking.com or through hotels.com. And that's actually a very interesting type of guest because they are already aware of where they will receive the best deals, and they're almost the easiest one to convert to direct bookers from that point. If we compare short to retail, then we see that retail has loyalty on the lower end of the ladder. They are very good in transactional loyalty, and they have many customers who are basically not loyal because they're selling an item and not an experience, as the hotels do. Today we will talk about a case study and Smart Hotel as mentioned. Smart Hotel is a Norwegian group of hotels and they focus on simplicity. They have a lean organization, 5 hotels as mentioned across Norway, so they they don't have the biggest marketing team or the operational team to do stuff, so they are depending on automation. The starting point of Smart Hotels was that they were very depending on OTA bookings. They had very price-sensitive guests. The guests were returning, so they had a good base to build on, but they were booking through OTAs. And they had very little GDPR-compliant customer data. For them, most of the guests were at the bottom of the loyalty ladder, and they wanted to work on how can we make them climb. So they started to introduce Smart Member, which was a simple reward program that was designed to be easy for the guests to use, easy for the staff to understand, and to automate data collection. The benefits they saw from that was that guests immediately saw benefits while booking directly, so they started to shift behavior from OTA bookings to direct bookings. Reception staff could recognize members, so it was easier for them to not ask the question, have you been here before, when the guests have been there 50 times before. So it became a little bit more personal with those small steps. And once the basics works, they wanted to do this a little bit more sophisticated. So what they did was to rebrand Smart Member into Smart Friends, which were a little bit more sophisticated version of a member program. They were then introducing member levels. They built in gamification, and they added more personalization towards their guests. It was easier for the receptionist to actually understand who is loyal, who is not loyal, and to incorporate that into the guest dialogue upon check-in and check-out. What they will focus on going forward is more flexibility. Everything is around the guest, and they want to add more flexibility to how they can enhance the membership across outside of their stay as well. Moving over to some results. As mentioned, Smart Hotel is a small group with 5 hotels, lean organizations. So automation is super crucial for them. But we see that they are recruiting 20,000 new members every year across their 5 hotels. And what's super interesting with this number is that 90% of their members are constantly booking directly. Another key metric is the loyalty of their members, because it doesn't matter how many members you have in your database if they're one-time visitors and never coming back. But what we see is from 2024 till 2025, they increased from 60 to 71% of returning members in their total database. And then it's easier to work on them, communicate with them, be relevant, and increase the foundation. And then we have the last metric, which is important for almost every hotelier. How can we shift bookings from OTAs to direct bookings? I must mention that this number is in Norwegian kroner, so that no one is assuming other currencies. But we see that when they are rewarded of booking directly, we can track how many are converted to members and how many are changing behaviors to direct bookings instead. Rounding up, in other words, loyalty is not built overnight. Smart Hotel didn't have a plan to solve everything at the start. They just introduced loyalty stepwise for their staff and for their guests, so it's easy to actually embrace the changes and the new launch. And Smart Hotel shows how a small group of hotel with limited resources actually can do things that previously were reserved for bigger chains with much higher budget than Smart Hotel has. Yeah, thank you.